everyone. Hope you all are doing well and welcome to another fantasy match review. This is for the game between India and Australia. We had a cracker of a first game and I'm hoping for the same in the second game too. Now, looking at the setup for this specific game, before I get to the whole preview and the team, remember to join this giveaway. There's a jersey on offer for all the FCP users exclusively. All you need to do is put one or more teams in this 45 rupee main Grand League contest of Fantasy Akhada, and irrespective of your final ranking, you will be eligible for a jersey if you're in the top 5 of my register code FCP Viren. So go ahead and join this right now. The link is on my Fantasy Cricket Pro Telegram channel. You can go join in there as well as join in on this specific app for the contest. Now, looking at our setup and team for today's game. Now, as far as this game is concerned, it's going to be played at Nagpur. Nagpur is not as high scoring as Mohali is, so maybe you can expect a slightly low scoring game in terms of that point, and maybe a little bit more help for the spinners too. Now, keeping that in mind, I feel if Rishabh Pant plays, he will be the best option yet. But for now, as he's not playing, I'm going to opt for Dinesh Karthik from this section. Josh Inglis against spin will be a challenge, so I'm not too sure there. While Matthew Wade, even though he batted really well in that last game, is batting a little too low. So maybe one of Wade or Dinesh Karthik based on whoever bats first. In the batting section, Lokesh Rahul looked in good touch finally. He seems to be getting that form back. Here maybe is the chance for Rohit and Kohli to redeem themselves, because I feel like the top order will be really important in Nagpur and the middle order would be little more challenged. Surya Kumar Yadav will be a 50-50 call for me. If he's batting first, maybe I'll take a chance by dropping one of the other batters for him. Maybe in the second innings just stick to the other 3 Indian batters. From the all-rounders is Cameron Green, someone who haunted us in the last game with a almost perfect combination of the other players. So you have to pick him, not only because he's batting and opening, it's also because he's bowling very important overs, and that makes him very difficult to leave. Hardik Pandya, Akshar Patel bowled supremely well in the last game. Also a handy cameo with the bat. Glenn Maxwell would be the last pick from this section. Even though he didn't bowl much in the last game, you will only expect him to bowl more as time progresses. Then in the bowling section, Josh Hazelwood will be very important. I feel he was one of their better bowlers. Ellis, if he's bowling first, will be in my team. If bowling second, won't be in my team. Yuzvendra Chahal, if bowling second, I will still believe that he does have something in him to give it back. And Jasprit Bumrah would be your other point of consideration. Now, how do you balance this team out? Because you know that you cannot pick everyone here, and you have this keeping section currently filled with Karthik. So for now, rather than Karthik, we'll opt for Wade and see how we can balance this team out. Now, Yuzvendra Chahal would be in my team, like I mentioned, if we are bowling second. If we are bowling first, then Bumrah would be there in both scenarios. Hazel would be there in both scenarios. Now, one of the two bowlers that you'd have to pick is Nathan Ellis or Yuzvendra Chahal. If India is bowling second, you go with Chahal. And finally, Harshal Patel. So this is what the setup of the team currently looks like. We have 4 all-rounders, 3 batters, 1 keeper and 2 bowlers. Now the final bowler for me, I think I'd probably go with one of the bowlers from Australia. Especially, I'm very tempted to go with Ellis if Australia is bowling first. Otherwise, I think a good Grand League option for me if India is bowling first would be Harshal Patel. So for now, assuming that Australia will bowl first, I'll go with Ellis. And this will give my team balance, because I have still 3 proper Indian bowling options and I have 4 options from Australia. But this can be changed based on the toss. So I will give that final update on the Fantasy Cricket Pro Telegram channel. Finally, captaincy, vice captaincy candidates. Even though Hardik didn't bowl really well, I think his batting just made up for it, and he'll get better with the ball as the series progresses. Vice captaincy for me, I think I'm still tempted to go with Maxwell, as when that big knock comes, it'll not wait for anyone else. So I think he's the best choice for you to make. Remember that all of you must join this rupees 45 Grand League, because you're going to be eligible for a lot of prizes. So don't miss out on this. The jersey is awaiting all of you, and try and make as many teams as possible. Now let's look at our Exchange 22 picks for this game. So here we have the Exchange22 app where you can go with just a few batters or bowlers. You don't need to go and pick 11 people to make this app work for you. You just pick one or two players, and if they do well, then your job is done right there and then. Harshal Patel, if he's bowling first, I'll pick him. Yuzvendra Chahal if bowling second. Jasprit Bumrah maybe slightly overpriced. Akshar Patel if batting first, because then he might get an opportunity with the bat and will bowl important overs. So I feel like this is one of the better buys. Bhuvi if bowling first, because now I'm expecting them to use 3 of his overs in the power play, and maybe he has a better outing against Finch too in this game. From the batting section, I think we are highly overpriced here. Dinesh Karthik if batting first might be a decent choice, as he's keeping, so he can give you handy points behind the stumps with the gloves too. From the Australian section, I feel like both these options are okay, they're decent here, but I'm not too sure. Or maybe if Tim David is batting first, I'll have him. Josh Inglis on this pitch totally depends on the conditions. At 28, he's not expensive, but if the conditions don't favor him, it might not be too helpful. Aaron Finch if batting first at ₹30 is a good pick. Cameron Green very overpriced. Adam Zampa if bowling second, amazing at this price. Josh Hazelwood if bowling first, and Nathan Ellis if bowling first. Pat Cummins, I don't know how much help he'll get out of this track, so that would be a final call for us to take based on the pitch and conditions, not only here but also for your final teams on any fantasy app. So this is my setup for this game. I hope you guys enjoyed this preview. Do hit the like button before you leave, and thank you so much for tuning in. Hope you all have a great game.